Hi there and welcome to Good Enough Scenery. In this part of the Modular Mountain Board series, I'm going to show you how I'm turning the rocky tiles and turning them into this. Here is not the completed board, but the board after it has been flocked and rocked and painted and shaded and washed and all sorts. So that's what's going to be happening in this part of the video. I'm not going to be doing the riser tiles and the lake, that's coming up next, but we'll be doing all of the rest of them, so let's get into it now. Oh Christ. Why do I do this to myself? Because it's going to be awesome, that's why. This is just regular PVA glue, and any vertical or near vertical surface I am going to seal with PVA glue, and you'll see why in the next stage. But yeah, this is going to be time consuming with 20 tiles to do. When you come back, most of these will probably look exactly the same because it'll be once the glue's dried. Yeah, see you in 6 to 10 working years. So I'm going to show you how to make some really simple washes. So take some water, take some washing up liquid. I don't have an exact measurement on this, it's just some paint. So I'm going to go for really bright blue, red, have a yellow. Yeah, just gonna literally just mix it all up like that. Use an oil brush and just kind of, when you're looking at for it, so you're kind of painting it on the side, and you're looking for it to be kind of the consistency of milk is what you're going for. Essentially, I'm just going to stir these up, so I'll be back in just a minute. Now we're going to make a grey wash. Now, if you're going to make a grey wash, then I strongly advise that you make a whitewash to begin with. Consistency wise, that's pretty good already. Right, we want a grey wash, not a whitewash, so literally adding that much in. If you've ever mixed up grey paint before, you'll know that the amount of white to black that you need is ridiculous. Black is such a dominant colour when you're doing mixing. And there's a grey wash and a little bit of mess to clear up. Right, we can now start painting these, and don't be alarmed by how bright they are, and don't be alarmed by what it looks like for a little while. So what I want to do with this is just going to load up the brush and just put some of the wash on in a few places. Not really overly thinking about it, but the one thing I'm kind of trying to do is concentrate on the vertical surfaces. I'm not a geologist, but I reckon the vertical surfaces will look different to the horizontal ones. The other one here. So I've got a blue one. Now this blue one I've noticed can be pretty dominant, so I'm going to try not to add too much at any given time. So orange one here. Yep, looks pretty terrible. Don't worry. Going to do a similar thing with this next one. Something like that. And this is what they are looking like, having been painted in this crazy way. Now if you finish the last part of the video worried about my mental state, then that's fine. But as you can see, that it's the tone has come out of the colour a little bit already. So here we have a grey wash. We are going to go over anywhere where we've got some colour. So fairly heavy loading on the brush, and I'm trying to stipple it rather than paint it. it may be the case that you have to do a couple of coats just to bring the colour down a bit, but I think it's nice to do it. You could just go straight for a black one and that would really kill any colour straight away. I like to do it in a lighter amount and go over it a couple of times, maybe even 3 or 4 times, because it takes a matter of minutes to do. You know, it's not accurate painting, I'm not caring about it going into other areas, it's just literally splodging it on, as you can see, and it dries pretty quickly as well. It dries much faster than paint would, and I have no idea why, but so hopefully you'll agree that it's looking better already. I mean, it was previously looking kind of that bright, and now it's toned down a bit already, so I'm going to get on and do the rest of them. Next up, I'm going to load up a makeup brush with some white and get off the excess, and then what I'm doing is I'm going perpendicular to the surface here, kind of doing not a dry brush because it's not dry, but I'm not just painting it either. But notice as I go across how it picks up those heavier details that are kind of carved into the surface there, leaving the lower ones to remain darker. Do this on the top surfaces as well. We've got lots of texture there. Not sure exactly what I'm doing with that yet, but so I've got the base parts now, and if you've watched the first part on the basic tiles, you'll know how I did this before, but I'm going to put some white glue down in a couple of places, black down. I'm going to stipple this. The idea is that we create a non-uniform kind of grey, blacky, whitey pattern. The majority of this is going to get covered over anyway, so it doesn't matter, but something like that. So I'm going to do that across the rest of the boards now. I've been really struggling to decide exactly how these are going to be flocked, but I think I've finally decided upon something. So the top surfaces are going to be lightly flocked in a dark green, and there are going to be places where there are kind of hillside type bits, but most of it is going to remain rocky, particularly the lower layers. So I'm going to take this dark green, this which is a spring mixture, and this which is a kind of mid fine turf. I'm going to mix that all together, and there's different size bits in there, and there's different colours in there, and hopefully it's going to come out as a shade a little bit darker than that, hopefully. So to start with, I'm going to put glue up to the edges on all of the top bits, but I'm not going to aim for like a full smothering of glue. I'm going to try and leave parts where the stone is still going to show through, and the idea is I'm going to do a quick flock with it and then tap it off nearly instantly, so there will be nice grass coverage, but there will also be patches where the stone's shown through. That's the hope. So I'm going to demonstrate what I'm going to do on this one here, because I think it's going to be the best opportunity to show a bunch of different things. So first off, I'm going to be going right up to the edge. Then as soon as I'm coming up to kind of these kind of rocky, edgy bits, I'm going to just stop a little bit short and worry less about the coverage. Don't want to be losing this kind of cool stony detail we've got there, but we do want to have some grass coverage. I think there's lightly down there. I'm going to apply glue to the rest of them. And I thought it was just going to be grassy. So I decided this would be a more accessible way up. So once again, I'm going to go right up to the edges. Go down the slope here. Trying to make sure up to the edges is consistent. After that, it can be not a good coverage, but it doesn't have to be a perfect coverage. Something like that will be absolutely fine, so I'm going to leave that for a few minutes and then I'm going to tip it off. Whatever's left, we're going to leave it there like that. So, anyway, that's what that one is looking like. So I'm going to do all of them and then shake it off. For that, I'm just going to tap it off like that. So we get the grassy detail, but we keep the rocky detail as well. More to be added to that, but that's the kind of thing that we're going for. Yeah, keeping some of the rocky detail. Get on to the next stage of flocking, so I can take my stronger glue here, and essentially anywhere where it is sheer, I am going to chuck some of this glue down. And on this one, a bit more interesting maybe, so a bit here. I'm actually going to put some of this here along the line of that. And I'm just going to spread that out just a little bit like that. And now everywhere else, I am going to just take regular PVA and I'm going to cover that. Not any kind of really slopey stuff, not going to do it on there, but everywhere else, going to give it a quick coating of this. So trying not to mix in, so this is regular PVA rather than the stronger stuff. Now we can move on to the flocking stage of it. So I've got my smallish stones that can act as kind of small rocks, and I'm going to tip those up to the edges. Got this little pouring cup, and it's going to hold it against the edge and just allow bits to fall out as I move it along. Now with this one here, then I'm going to go around these pillars and have basically the same idea. A few there. Now here I'm just going to load it up and I'm literally going to chuck it in there. And I'll tell you what, I quite like the idea of that, so what I'm going to do is actually cover this in glue. I never make it up as I go along, right? So I'm going to give that a second and do the rest of this. I have this, which is isopropyl alcohol, which helps to break bond to glue up. So I'm going to literally soak that, and that glue will start to dissipate and set and stuff, and I'd still expect 50+% of them to not stay there. But next up we've got this, which is practically sand with its consistency, and we're going to just sprinkle this across like that. This is going over to the other parts of it as well, so it's going to the base part as well. Trying to get it in most places, but you know, not caring if we miss too many. Like that. Next part of this, we're going to take some matte Scenic Spray, and we are going to give a thorough coating of this. So this grassy surface is going to be a bit sticky, so what I'm going to do, so I'm just going to sprinkle some of this where it joins between rock and grass, just to, it's a bit too much of a harsh line at the moment from my point of view. And also this stuff needs to go across other parts of the board as well, just kind of randomly to break up the colour. Okay, and now I'm going to spray it all again, which I'm going to cover the rest of it. Scenic Sealant Spray from Geek Gaming, and this will help. This will give everything that's there the best chance of staying where it's been put. Yeah, that'll do. So, and I'll probably there'll probably be a few coats of this on every single tile.
And this is what it ended up looking like. Really pleased with the colours and tones and shades that came out in the cliff faces. Really love how the flocks and the rocks looks on the board, and could not be more pleased with it, to be perfectly honest. I think particularly in sometimes this natural light, it just looks absolutely stunning. And I like the variety that I've got in the angles and everything about the board. Absolutely loving it. So if you've enjoyed this content, then please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when the next part's coming. Please like the video as it helps people just like you see the video as well, and leave a comment with anything you like about the board, anything you dislike, or anything you'd like to see on the channel.